welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and I'm here for another Kelsey Reads Romance vlog. So because it's the month of February, if you've been following my channel, I always try to read romance in the month of February to continue with these vlogs. I have a playlist that I will leave linked up above, which has all of my romance reading vlogs. I am not the most adept reader in romance. It takes a lot, I think, for me to like a romance. So these vlogs just work as an experiment for me to try some popular or not so popular romances and see what I think of them as a non-romancy reader. Although at this point I've read enough romance that I think I'm at least a little bit knowledgeable of what I like. So the first book I read in this vlog is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling that takes place in the modern world where Persephone is still the daughter of Demeter and the gods are sort of these like celebrities in this world, and Hades runs this like club, and Persephone, like the myth entails, strikes up a deal with Hades and is forced to kind of like work for him in the underworld. The next book I read was Her Villains by Jade Presley. This is the first book in the Shattered Isle series. It's a reverse harem Marvel type of retelling that follows this princess named Kari who is set up for an arranged marriage with 4 brothers. However, the 4 brothers don't know that Kari has been essentially sent there to assassinate them. And then the last book I read for this vlog was Radiance by Grace Dreven. This follows a prince named Brescian and Ildiko, who is a niece of the neighboring kingdom's king, and they are also set into an arranged marriage where these two people discover that despite having fairly nothing in common can develop a nice relationship through friendship. I will send you back to Kelsey 1 week ago when I started with A Touch of Darkness, and I'll see you back at the end of the vlog.
Hello, so there's obviously going to be a better intro to this than what I look like right now. Talking about what book I'm going to be reading first, I found A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair on Audible. Right now I've been really into like reading and listening at the same time. It's just been helping me a lot. I'm going to stick with A Touch of Darkness. This is the first book in this romanTASY reading vlog I've been doing. romanTASY has clearly taken the world by storm and I want to be a part of it, especially because I haven't been reading a lot of romance. Just nothing's been grabbing my attention, and I think it's more the contemporary setting of a romance novel than anything else, so I kind of want to try romanTASY again. Touch of Darkness is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and it seems to take place in the modern day, well, not the modern day, because it still takes place in this place called New Athens, and they are all still gods, I think. Persephone is still the goddess of spring by title only. Flowers shrivel to her touch. That's interesting. And she leads an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist, so definitely this concept of immortality is there. Hades, the god of the dead, has built up a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. After a chance encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in contact with the god of the dead. Persephone must create a life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. Always really enjoyed Persephone and Hades as like a romantic duo as characters. I find like a lot of people who do Hades and Persephone retellings really add this character depth to Hades that I often appreciate. This is the book we'll be starting with, and I'll probably come talk to you when I'm about 100 pages in. Hello, so I'm back. I wanted to do a quick update because I'm already like 50 pages into the book, whispering because my boyfriend is sleeping currently, but I feel like I was only listening to it for about like half an hour, 40 minutes max. I don't know if this is like typical for romanTASY or whatever, but I just feel like it's going so fast. The story is kind of interesting. Persephone and Hades have met, so we're getting that typical like Demeter doesn't like Hades dynamic, and then we also have Hades putting a mark on Persephone like in the myth, and he wants her to come to the underworld to build a garden. The problem here is that Persephone kills basically everything that she touches, so we have this really interesting dynamic between Hades being this god of dead things and capturing people's souls and whatnot, and then we have Persephone's inkling to create death. We have just seen it with certain plants that Persephone, despite being Demeter's daughter, is not capable of creating spring, creating like new life. She's only able to kill things. So I think that's an interesting like step towards or creating a dynamic between our two main characters. So that's all we're at right now, but I do think it's really interesting. I don't really like Persephone as a main character. Like, I understand she's going through like a trauma. Sorry for the lighting also, this is so weird. But anyways, could just be that I'm waiting for this dynamic to be a bit more engaging for me. But at this point right now, it's all right. Like, I don't see this book being anything like crazy unless something like really interesting happened. But I wanted to update because I just feel like I'm going to get like halfway through this book so quickly. I wouldn't even be surprised if I finish it today or tomorrow. So I just wanted to give this update to say that it is starting out very reminiscent of the myth, which I think is interesting. I like when authors who are reimagining things are reimagining them in a way that is resemblant of the myth that you know, but also providing this like interesting take. And I think this dynamic of Hades owning a club, Persephone being the daughter of spring but like not able to create spring, so there's a relation between her and Hades with this concept of death. But we'll see what happens. I know that this is a series, which I think is insane. I don't know if I would continue. I would really have to love this. But I did hear good things, which is why I bought it like on a Kindle sale. Like, I think I paid like $2 for the ebook, so I had heard things about it, which is why I bought it. I'm hoping I like it a little bit, but I think the dynamic between the two love interests will be interesting. Hello, I didn't update you at all today. We had a pretty busy day. We went to go see my friend's baby. He's so cute and precious. And then I came home. I just wanted to relax. I was so sleepy. It's crazy what taking care of a child does to you for 3 hours. And then I decided to go to the gym, did my whole oiling routine for my hair, took a shower, and now I'm here with my sleepy girl mocktail TikTok sensation and about to continue. What am I reading? A Touch of Darkness. I have some sprints on over there, and I'm going to be continuing to listen while I sip this mocktail to hopefully knock me the fuck out. This will definitely be the last update, the first and last of today, just because I was so freaking busy, and I will see you tomorrow, but I will continue to read tonight. So I have something to say tomorrow. Did I not wash my eye makeup off properly? Hello, I come to you with my sleepy girl mocktail.
Twice in 2 days. Can you say she has insomnia?
But I wanted to come to you because I did finish A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I literally flew through this one today just because it wasn't requiring a lot of energy from me, and I was happy to oblige to it. So before I start the next book, which I'll get into, I just want to give my review. Overall, I think this was a very fun and well done Persephone and Hades retelling. I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did, but I think I just have to accept that I really am a sucker for Hades and Persephone. And I honestly have been ever since I was a child. Like, as soon as I heard that a bad boy took the goddess of spring away, I was like, ooh, I like that. So I think the take on this myth was well done here, and especially how it like made sense for the two to come together in a modern setting while still sticking true to the myth, and this understanding that a bargain is made with Persephone and how Persephone therefore becomes the queen of this realm, and more of like an accepting position obviously on Persephone's part, and the way that Demeter's need to control Persephone is also tackled within this book, albeit not like the best, but interesting enough that it made sense for the two to come together. In terms of the characters, like, I obviously loved Hades because I love all bad boys, so I don't think that's a surprise. Any bad boy with a heart, I'm like, hello, come to me. And I did come to enjoy Persephone. She still wasn't like the best character, but I did enjoy her like journey to self-discovery and like learning to be confident and stand strong in like her beliefs and what she wants to do and that sort of thing. But a lot of the growth and the conversations around this growth with Persephone came off really corny to me, and I couldn't help but like roll my eyes a couple of times. Like, I know they're being said to like, you know, feed into this belief that Hades is this good guy and like putting him on this throne, like, oh my god, he believes Persephone deserves rights and to believe in herself. Like, it came off heavy-handed sometimes. Overall, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. But if you ask me why this is a 4-book series with a 4-book spin-off series, beats me. I can't understand. The story was good as it was here. I don't think I need to read more of them and their like misunderstandings and miscommunication. We're good here. However, next
What I'm not excited for, but semi excited at least for my like reactions. I'm going to pick up another Kindle book I bought when a lot of my friends had just purchased Kindle Unlimited and they were talking about this book, Her Villains by Jade Presley. All I know is that this is a Marvel reverse harem. And I don't know what that means. In order to save her people, she must marry her enemies. I am the Shattered Isle princess. I've grown up on horror stories about the four all-playing princes, and now I've been promised to turn to them as their bride in order to usher in peace between our two warring realms. First, I have to earn their trust. Second, I must do what my father raised me to do, kill them all. But the task is almost impossible when each of the princes have an unflinching need to claim me as theirs. The chemistry between us is electric. Their danger and desire and forbidden temptation, and I've never tasted anything sinfully sweet. Her Villains is a reverse harem fantasy with enemies to lovers themes, some violence, and steamy scenes. So it doesn't have the best reviews from my friends, who were the ones that I thought were gonna enjoy it. Everybody seems to have given it 2 stars. And I love hating books, so let's go on this journey together, shall we?
Hello, so I wanted to update you because I got like 30% into Her Villains, and what an interesting novel I am reading. I'm definitely picked this up because it's like out of my comfort zone for fantasy romance. Like romance and fantasy, not really out of my comfort zone at this point, but erotica is definitely definitely out of my comfort zone. So right now we have our main character Carrie, and she has been sent to this other realm or this other planet or this other country, whatever, where she is said to marry these 4 princes: Steel, Tor, Locke, and Talon. So Steel is obviously Captain America. Tor is Thor. Talon is Iron Man, I believe. And then you have Locke for Loki. And they're all brothers. And she develops this bond with all of them that needs to be dealt with, shall we say. She is sent there essentially to kill them. Like, it's to take down this realm so that her father's realm becomes the most powerful, right? But as she's there, we quickly learn, obviously, that everything she's ever known is lies. And perhaps these evil princes are not as evil as she thought. It's definitely obvious where the story's going. I don't think the writing is strong. You know, immediately upon her meeting these brothers that they're not bad. Within the first couple of chapters, she learns vital information that like these brothers fought with like their soldiers to protect a land of other people that her father wanted to take over. And so she's like, wow. We're gonna obviously get to a point where she's going to bond with all of them. And so far it's only been done with Thor, and Steel Captain America is not happy about this. We'll see where this goes. It's a fast read. Am I enjoying it? I'll update you later. Hello, I wanted to give a quick update because I've been so busy, but I'm almost done Her Villains. Has it gotten better? No. Will I probably finish it relatively soon? Yes. Am I uncomfortable while listening to it on audiobook? Also, yes. I will come back with a more fleshed out thought for this. But like I told one of my friends yesterday, I don't expect this to get higher than a 2 stars. But I was so curious about this book, so I just want to finish it. Sorry, I have 3 chapters left, and I just have to update this because they've spent literally a couple of days together, a week tops, and they're ready to die for one another. I know authors, romantasy authors, like to use fated mates and stuff like that to like introduce a magic system that fates them together and like bonds them together, and like now they're in love and they can't do anything because they had sex, you know? But like, can we not? Hello, so I just got back from the gym and I wanted to give a quick update. I did finish Her Villains yesterday and I gave this 2 stars. I think that was pretty obvious that that was the rating that it was going to get. What it lacked in depth of world building and character development, it made up for in smut. I know that that's the purpose of the book. It's purposely made to be erotica, not necessarily made to have like the best fantasy plot point. The fantasy in this book is more used to kind of justify, I think, a more harem setting. I think I would have appreciated this book more if there was more depth in our main character. Like, I don't even remember their name anymore. Carrie. If there was more depth in Carrie's character. She starts off the book by saying that these men that she's being paired off with need to be murdered, and she's been taught her whole life that these men need to be murdered, and minutes upon meeting them and fornicating with them, she loses this sense of like purpose, I think, because obviously it's shifted. It's then her purpose is to like defend these men. However, I think if something you've been taught your whole life is like questioned in like 10 pages, I don't know if you would be set on the opposite side right away. And then obviously it comes to this like climactic ending where they have to defeat their fathers. It was just lame. It was just, there was nothing there, nothing of substance. It was really just there for smut. So because it did what it did, I gave it 2 stars. But my enjoyment of it, my reactions toward it were definitely, I knew this wasn't a good book. However, what is starting to be a really good romantasy is Radiance by Grace Draven. So all I knew about this book going in is that it's an arranged marriage between 2 species of people. What caught my attention about this book was when Riley Marie was describing this book when she had read it a couple of years ago, and she was saying how it was so cute because the 2 people that are in this arranged marriage just think the other is so ugly. They are marrying each other for duty and not for anything else, not for attractiveness. Within the first chapter, like, it makes it very clear that they both don't find the other attractive. They are winning each other over sort of with their personalities, which I think is so cute. They're like making jokes about how the other one's ugly and they're laughing, and I love that. I know I've said this millions of times, but I do want to try to finish this book today, and if I can do that before I have to go out tonight, we have one of my friend's 30th birthdays. If I could do that before I go out tonight, I'll feel so successful. Or I could possibly finish this tomorrow, but it is the Super Bowl, so we'll see. We'll see what the vibe is. I will try to take more B-roll. I know it's one of my main issues with vlogs, so I'm going to try to remember to do that for you all. But I'm going to go listen to Grace Draven's Radiance, maybe come back at the 50% mark just to let you know how it's going. So we'll see each other then. Hey, so I'm in the middle of getting ready for my friend's birthday party tonight, and I've been listening to Radiance by Grace Draven, and I wanted to give like my initial thoughts so far. I'm really enjoying this. Like, it's so much more developed, I think, than the last 2 romantasies that I read in this vlog. There's so much more to their relationship. You can really tell that Grace Draven is like putting value into learning about your significant other over initial immediate attraction. Not that attraction doesn't matter, not that, you know, it's not important to the relationship, but I just feel like there's more depth to our 2 main characters here than we previously saw in the last 2 books. And also so much world building is being done in this book by Grace Draven. Like, we're really learning about the 2 societies of species of humans and like what they value in their relationships with one another, their food, their dynamics between their families. Like, it's so much more interesting than the other books. Like, this feels more like a fantasy novel. Like, we definitely know what's gonna happen, right? I forgot the main characters' names, but we know that they're gonna fall in love, obviously. It's definitely like a reluctant friends to lovers type of dynamic. So we know that they're gonna fall in love, but Grace Draven is taking such care to develop their 2 sides of this like alliance and the importance of their marriage, but also their value in one another and what they enjoy about each other's presence. And I think it's really funny that the compliments that they give each other is never about their looks. They're never talking about like his chiseled abs or like her tits, you know? And that's all fine and dandy when that happens in books, and if that's the point of the book, then that's the point of the book. But here they're really putting value into like their personalities. Like, I think that that's just beautiful, you know? Like, maybe I'm projecting, that's what I want in my partners. I just think that it's being really well done and developed by Grace Draven, and I'm enjoying it. I have literally nothing negative to say. The other 2 books, I was definitely like rolling my eyes in some instances, but here we're living, laughing, and loving, and I'm happy for that. So now I'm going to probably put on my outfit. I'll continue to listen to Radiance while I do that, but other than that, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Welcome back to the end of the vlog. Let's talk about my feelings of Radiance, because I honestly love this book. So when I'm thinking about romantasy, this is what I want and need. It's a friends to lovers romance that just starts on such a great foot, with the two characters coming together over their distaste for one another's looks, cracking jokes and making each other laugh. I believed throughout this entire book that these two were growing together and growing to love one another. And you could really feel that by the end of the book, they're just meant to be together. I really appreciated the care that Draven took outside of the novel to build on the world and build on these political dynamics. I never questioned the motivations of the characters, even those around them, or the world around them and how it would affect them in specific ways. The political dynamics made sense to me because Draven took such care at building this world and establishing the dynamics between the two kingdoms. This book just had the depth of a fantasy and a romantic relationship that I feel I need. I also want to mention that I loved Grace Draven's writing. I feel like she's so skillful. The romance was so developed. The world building was so developed. Everything within this was just absolutely what I needed and what I'm looking for in romantasies. So if you have any recommendations for political fantasies that are romances, let me know down below, because I think that this is what I need. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It's definitely the winner of the vlog, definitely the book I enjoyed the most. And I'm thinking that I might pick up more Grace Draven in the future when I'm looking for romantasy, because I just think that she was such a skillful writer and really made me believe in these characters. So now that we're at the end of the vlog, let's just take a quick little time to summarize my thoughts overall about this experiment. I think my conclusion is that I will like a romance if I believe in the characters and I believe in their relationship with one another. I'm definitely really understanding throughout this reading experience over the last like 2-3 years that I like friends to lovers more than I actually thought I did. I really thought I was an enemies to lovers bitch, but I don't think so. I think I love friends. And I know that if I'm looking for romantasies, like I mentioned, I really need that depth in the world building. I really need to understand the motivations of the characters. And I just really need to understand the political gains within the relationship and what's going on in the entire world. And I want to read a book that feels like it has a rich setting. So let's just summarize the ratings. A Touch of Darkness, I ended up giving a 3 stars or a 3.5. I gave it a 3 stars. I think here was a good example of a like mid book that still touched upon things that I enjoy. Hades and Persephone had this like very solid relationship with their motivations that made sense. The world was somewhat familiar to me, being in the modern setting, but with like mythical elements that I'm familiar with and comfortable with. So it made for a more engaging read for me. Her Villains, which I gave 2 stars, is an example of a book that I think was more smut focused than like building on the world and building on the relationships. There wasn't a lot of depth there. There was a lot of plot holes that I was finding amongst other holes. I just don't think that the fantasy in this book held up for the amount of smut that was there. Of course, it wasn't exactly the purpose. It's just not the book for me. And then Radiance, of course, 4 stars, had all the elements of a romantic that I am looking for, that I enjoy, and that I expect to look for in the future as we move forward. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed this vlog. If you've read any of these books and you have similar thoughts or opposing thoughts, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to know how people who are more comfortable with romantasy felt about these books as well. And of course, if you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias to see what I'm reading, I always leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It does wonders for my channel. It makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these things, so I will see you next time. Okay, bye!